call from the VP of USA Gymnastics asking me if we would be wanting to help Simone Biles. And we're like, wait, what? Simone? Wow. We looked at each other with my husband, we're like, coaching Simone Biles, okay.
Did you know she was going to be one of the world's greatest?
I knew she had talent. And if someone can figure out how to coach this athlete, she's going to be unstoppable. How can we challenge somebody that's done everything? We can only go down from here or do the same, but at the same time, what a challenge.
2020
Yes.
is tough. Simone had mental health issues. Obviously, she's been very public about it.
She had complete disconnect between mind and body, so it's extremely dangerous. You go for a full flip and your body will do either half or a double. She's flipping in the air, and if something goes wrong, she can land on her neck, die, paralyzed. She looked at me, she's like, I can't do it. So we had to withdraw from this Olympics.
It's been really stressful, this Olympic game. It's okay sometimes to even sit out the big competitions to focus on yourself.
I knew an injury protocol, but I didn't know a mental health injury protocol. Nobody knew what to do.
A lot of the gymnasts have really praised the way that you approach coaching. How do you feel like your style helped her evolve?
I just remember the way I was coached. Now I would be mad if somebody would coach this way because we have all learned that there's a better way to do it. The key to help athletes reach their goal is...
Olympics are coming up, LA. Is Simone gonna compete?
So
I know you're gonna find my conversation about all things gymnastics with Cécile Landi so fascinating. But before we get into it, can you do me a favor and subscribe to our channel? It's quick, free, and ensures you won't miss a single episode. Now let's get started. Cécile Landi, it's so wonderful to have you here.
thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited for this conversation. You have had an epic career, as an athlete and a coach. You're a world-renowned gymnastics coach. You most recently were awarded USA Gymnastics Women's Artistic Coach of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And, you've coached some of the greatest gymnasts of all time, Simone Biles, who, I think every human on the planet has such deep admiration for her, and you are one of the main coaches kind of behind her ascent. So just really excited to dig into all of that. But first, I'd love to talk about your athletic career. I know it was a long time ago. We were in the same era, which is so cool. You competed in the 1996 Olympics. Tell me a little bit about the role gymnastics played, for you as a child. I would imagine you started really young.
Yeah, so my sister actually is 3 years older than me, and she was doing gymnastics, and my mom was, driving her, and I would just look through the windows or sit on the bench and be like, when can I start? And at the time, they didn't have, like we have now, like parents and me classes, and you had to be 5. As soon as I turned 5, they signed me up. And I just started, once a week, then twice, and then a little bit more. And around 8 years old, I was like kind of selected to go to, I lived in a little town near Marseille, an hour drive. We were doing like some competition, and there was some, I guess, recruiters that were going around, and they selected me to come like every Wednesday to go to Marseille to train at the National Team Training Center. Wow. So I did that for a year.
And you're at what age were you?
8.
8 years old.
8 years old.
It's just so wild.
I know. And then at the end of that year, they offered me a spot full-time in Marseille. So at 9, I begged my parents because they're like, we can't move there. I had a brother and an older sister. My dad has a job. My mom was a nurse. They had everything set over there. And lucky for me, my aunt moved to Marseille that year with her 2 kids, so my cousins, and she offered to host me so I could go train. And on the weekend, I would go back home. So I moved with my aunt for 2 years. And after 2 years, I moved into another host family because it was a lot on my aunt. Like, it's such a crazy schedule that it became a lot. So at 9 years old, I left my parents to go train in Marseille. So it's just been my entire life since I was 5. So over 40 years of gymnastics now. And I just loved it. I never stopped. And then when I retired from elite, I thought I was like, I'm never going to be a coach. I'm done with gymnastics and all. I wanted to be a physical therapist because I've had a lot of interaction with them as an athlete.
Yeah.
And then I got
kind of recruited. Yeah.
Yeah, I got sucked back in by a coach that I knew, and he just pulled me back in.
What made you decide to retire? Because you were still so young.
the time, 30 years ago, 16 you were old, 18 you had retired, and that was it. That was just,
So 18 was kind of the cutoff back.
Yeah, like,
it's wild.
And even like, I think the coaches, like, I don't think they meant to be this way, but it was just a generation at the time. You had to be thin, you had to be young, and, you have to work out like crazy amount of time per week. And I think that's how it was. And then now we have realized that's not how it works. But so at 16, I was already getting old because at 14, when I started 14, 15, you were becoming a senior. Now you only become a senior at 16. So they pushed it a little bit.
And how was the coaching environment when you were playing? Oh, sorry, when you were competing?
It was hard, but I think that's all we knew. Yeah. Now I do know that there's
other ways.
Yes, there's better ways to do it, but everybody was doing the same way. My coaches were Chinese and brought the Chinese era, so they were really tough, but I also wanted to be with them because when I moved to Marseille, I wasn't put with the Chinese coaches first. I was put with some French coaches, and after a couple of years, I could see the girls being with the Chinese getting so much better, and I knew that if I wanted to reach my goal to go to the games, I had to go with them. So I kind of pushed myself to show everybody like I can handle it. Yeah. And so when I was 13, I started to train with them, and then my career just started to.
Was it something about their just methodology? Was it technical? Like what separated them as coaches?
I think a little bit of everything. Yeah. I mean, there was a fear of them. Yeah. I wasn't too fearful of my other coaches, so there was a little fear and wanting their respect. More importantly, and technically they knew everything. I felt like they had really good drills and they could help you master things and they were very good at picking skill that would work for you. So that's what I could see on the other girls that were training with them. Like the progress was so fast, and I was like, okay, I need to go with them. Let me go with them, and they just were like, okay, fine. You probably won't be able to handle it. I was like, okay, but let me try, and then yeah.
Was there any point where you kind of were like, I made the wrong decision, or did you doubt the choice to train with them, or was
I think I never really did. Some bad days, probably. Yeah, I was like, what am I doing? But 90% of the time, I knew I was at the right place. If I wanted to be the best I could be, they were the only one that could help me.
What was it like competing in Atlanta in 96 as a 17-year-old?
A little surreal. I mean, I've always loved this United States. I don't know why. I was 12 the first time I came to the state for a camp. And I came back and I told my parents I want to move here. And they were like, yeah, sure. We lived in a town that was like 40,000 people. And none of my family had gone to the state. I was like the first high-level athlete in the family. So it was like, yeah, right. Keep talking. But yeah, and so for me, when I found out 96 was in Atlanta, in the state, I was like, I got to make those games. Like, those are meant for me. This is my dream. And being here, I remember everything was so big. Yeah. The Georgia Dome was just so tall, and we're little.
Massive. I know,
like tiny. It was so many people. Like, I think it was about 40,000 people. So it was like my hometown in a building. It was crazy. And my dad and my mom were able to come. And so they were there. And I think that's what the most fun is, to know that my parents were here.
Let's watch the clip of you competing in the games.
Oh, goodness.
Have you seen this? It's probably been a while. Right?
It's been a while, yes. 30 years next year. We're going to meet, actually. The whole team is meeting in Paris. So it's easier for everybody to go there.
Wow. It's such a beautiful sport, my goodness. The epitome of athleticism and
I can't believe it was 30 years.
I know, it's crazy. Impossible. You look tall.
I'm
You're not. How tall are you? 5'5"?
I'm 5'4", but
okay.
I was fairly thin, and my teammates were smaller, so I looked tall.
You look tall, yeah.
But when they met me, they were like, "Oh, you're actually shorter than you do." Yeah, I know. It's just my teammates are smaller.
Oh my gosh! Like I watched that. I'm like, how is it even possible to move the body in that way? Ugh.
That was fun. We had a good day
And you scored a 9.7. Mm-hmm. You look pleased. Look how cute you are. Oh.
Yeah, gonna meet all of those guys in July next year.
That'll be so much fun.
I'm excited.
Who's
And
your
this
coach
is,
at the time?
my daughter godmother from the left. Yeah. And my daughter's middle name is her name, Elvire.
Oh, that's so special.
Long life friend for sure. It's been fun.
The intensity of your childhood is just, it's hard to like, I mean, I had, when I think about my career, I was the same, I was in Atlanta, lived in, I was in residency for a year in the lead up to the Olympics. And so my entire life was kind of structured around this idea of like going to the Olympics. But what you lived, like that intensity is just a whole nother level. Like when you look back on it, are there, any things about your childhood that you're like, I wish I could have done this or that, or any regrets, or do you feel
I don't have any regrets. I've made like friends for life, and we had such a tight group that we thought it was almost normal. And then my parents were always behind me asking me, the day you're done, my dad always told me, if you're not happy, call me, I'll come get you, and we're done. There was no pressure of you have to be an Olympian, you have to go there. There was never that.
You were choosing the entire time.
It was just me wanting to do it. Yeah, I missed a few, weddings and stuff like that, but I also got to travel the world, and that's stuff that, with my teammates. And so those are different memories. But I'm still really close to my family, even though I left at 9 and I never went back home.
Yeah.
So that part is maybe tricky for my parents, not necessarily for me, because it was just, I was living my dream.
So you're coaching at the training center in France. You kind of get recruited to coach, and it's obviously what you knew, what you loved. What was that moment where you're like, I need something different?
I just saw the next 40 years of my life like being the same.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, oh no.
At the training center,
At
just
the training
every day.
center, in my small apartment in Marseille, and this is where it was going to be. You easily put in a box in France. You're going to coach this, and this is it. And I was like, that's not for me. And one of my former coach had worked in the US for a couple of years. And so I asked him, I said, hey, like, I think I want to try. I'm young. I don't have a family. Like, can you help me? So he put me in contact with Paul Zert and Bart Connor and Nadia Comaneci. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And they used to help a lot of former athletes move to the U.S., especially Eastern Europe, to try to have a better life. And so they brought me to Norman, Oklahoma, and I went there for 10 days. I came back and I told my boyfriend, which is not my husband at the time, like, there's nothing there, but that could be a good start, and we can try, and then we can see.
Yeah.
And so he was like, let's try, and then if we don't succeed, we don't like it, we can always come back here. With the family, we come back to France. It's not like you coming to, bad country, like it's France. So, and then we just left that summer, and we wanted to try to have a better life, to be able to not be stopped by the boxes that were in France, and also not honestly to be able to try to make as much money as we could doing what we wanted to do, and not to have to do something else.
They said that you'd regret leaving France.
Yes.
They gave you a hard time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody was very supportive in my work. They told me that I was going to fail because everyone that had tried this experience before me had come back to France and didn't like it and didn't succeed. So why would I be different? And I would be regretting it and coming back in tears and begging for my job back. And I said, well, first of all, if I come back, I won't be coming back here. France it's not that big, but it's big enough that I could find somewhere else to
There's
go.
other centers to try.
But if I don't try it, I'm going to regret that. So I'm just going to go. And a couple of years later, it was funny because they invited me when I started having results as a coach, as a guest in their meet. And she started with us. I was like, My mom was like, I really want to say something. I said, don't even bother. Like, they allow me to bring my team. My team is going to France for the first time. I'm going to use them like they use me. Yeah. Even. I don't care.
I love
fine.
it. So good. When did you first start working with Simone?
In 2017, November 1st was the first day.
Gosh,
Yeah.
that's a a long time.
Yeah, we had many years together.
2 Olympics?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tokyo
So
and
Tokyo
Paris.
and Paris. Okay. So when you first started working with Simone, did you know she was going to be one of the world's greatest?
She she had won the 2016 Olympic Games. She already was like incredible athlete.
Yeah. So she won the all around in 2016.
And she won 4 gold. She won vault, floor, all around, team, and then she medal on beam. So she had already
she was like 17-ish around then at that point?
19 already.
She was 19 already.
She was already 19 in 2016. And so she already had and we had an athlete in 2016. So we knew Simone because our athlete was a teammate with her. Mm-hmm. And we already knew she was incredible. Yeah. I remember watching her when she was 11-9 and be like, oh my gosh, if someone can figure out how to coach this athlete, she's going to be unstoppable. Like she was bouncing everywhere. You could see she has the talent. She had talent. She was quick. Yeah. She was pretty flexible, very coordinated. Like you could tell something. She was different.
Special.
Yeah. And so then she had Amy for a couple of years, and Amy did a great job and was able to, go to 2016 and get 4 gold and a bronze. Pretty amazing.
Incredible.
And then after that, we didn't know what she was going to do. It was never in the back of our mind. And then in 2017, when we retired from Woga, we decided to take a break. We had done 10 years in Dallas area at the big gym in Woga, and we were kind of burned out. So we wanted to take some time. So we took a couple months off, figure out what we're going to do.
So this is after Rio?
After Rio, the year after Rio. Yep. And so we took that summer off, did some clinics here and there. And then we were wanting to buy a gym in Arizona. My husband loves to golf. So that was a perfect place.
Perfect.
We're like, okay. So we went there. We toured the gym. We found an apartment. We were like, okay, this is good. We're doing the paperwork to buy the gym. And then we got a call from Rhonda Fain, who at the time was the VP of UC Gymnastics, and told us that someone had called her and wanted to know what we're doing and if we would be wanting to help her. And we're like, okay, who is her? And she told us, and we're like, wait, what? Simone? She's like, yeah. Wow. She had talked to our former athletes that we had on the team, and she asked them like, hey, how are they really? Like, are they really what they're like out to be, or are they like crazy in the back?
Totally.
Like, what they?
Yeah, what's actually happening?
Yeah. And would you be okay if I asked them to coach me? And they all said yes. So then we looked at each other with my husband. We're like, coaching Simone Biles, okay. It is scary because she's won everything.
Yeah.
So in a way, you can only go down from here. Like, it's real hard to do better.
Yeah, totally.
Or do the same. So you're like, okay. But at the same time, what a challenge and what opportunity and honor that she would, ask.
Yeah.
So we went to Houston. We drove to Houston, met her mom, and then we met with Simone privately and wanted to know, why do you want to come back? And she said, like, I want to do it for myself. I didn't really enjoy the first quad because it was just normal. I was doing it, and it was just, I was young and had no say, and I was doing what I was told. But I really want to do it differently this time around. So we scratched Arizona, and we moved to Houston in October.
No, I mean, you stated perfectly. It's a challenge, but this idea of like coaching an athlete who's already so good. What do you feel like? How do you feel like your style or the way that you approached her training or her mindset helped her evolve as an athlete, in that time period?
I think for us was, how can we challenge somebody that's done everything? So we were thinking about outside the box on skills, on routines. And every time we offered something, she was like, you're crazy. And then we're like, no, just humor us, try it. And then she would try us like, I think I can actually do this. So I was like, okay. And so she would go like that. But it was more like communication. It's all about communication. Like, you have to earn the trust of your athletes. And once you have the trust and the respect, and it's vice versa, then really you can go anywhere. It's just, you work toward the same goals. When they understand we're here for them and it's not the other way around. Without them, I'm nothing. Without me, they can still do it. They have the capabilities to do gymnastics with me or without me. But if I don't have gymnasts, I don't have a job.
Right.
So I've got to remember they're the key to my future.
Yeah.
So I got to be very respectful, very careful how I communicate with them, and making sure they understand that I am here for them. And once she knew that, like, it was an easy transition. I was worried at first. I wasn't sure how it would go because she was so close to her former coach that I didn't want to overstep. I didn't want to break that bond or anything that was going on. But at the end, we created our own bond, and
I love that.
Been really close ever since.
For coaches who are listening and look up to you, admire you, as a person and coach, how would you advise another coach to think about that process of building trust?
I think you got to give it time. This generation is different than when I started 20 years ago. The social media thing is not helpful in some ways. I think
because you're getting validation and,
critique,
shallow sources.
Everything.
And
it's just it's just so much. They're always on their screens. I mean, I'm guilty too. Yeah. I'm always on my phone. Everywhere I go, if I don't have anything, I'm on my phone. And then you read comments, it's just hard. So they're like different the way they talk to. I think they want honesty. The kids nowadays, they really want to be straightforward. And I think they need to feel free to tell you. When I remind my athletes, like, if you're scared, it's okay. Yeah. Like, everyone has fears. Everyone. Simone had fear. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, she had fear. There's some skills she was scared of, but she still did them, slowly and learned the right technique and was able to do them. But everyone, so don't be afraid to tell your athletes, like, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you. You got to be honest with me. If it's a fear thing, or if sometimes you just maybe don't want to do it. And you got to be honest and be like, I don't feel like I can do it, or that's not a skill I want to do. And it's just communication for me. It's more opening it up for them to feel they're in control of their gymnastics. And when they feel they're in control and in charge, it's like every teenagers, when you raise one, they got to feel they're in charge. Yeah. But at the same time, you're guiding them to the right direction. But when they feel in charge, they're more willing to give 100% and do the best they can. So it just takes time, though. It's not overnight. You got to be patient, but I think you got to be carrying yourself in a way that you want them to carry themselves. Don't sit on the floor when they're working. I feel like you got to be active. You got to be around. You got to be walking. I don't know, just and treat them the way you want to be treated. Yeah, it's a simple, basic human principle. Yeah. The Yurchenko Double Pike, extremely difficult, dangerous vault. Yeah. Going into the Paris Games, did she know that she was going to do this double pike vault? Yes. Okay, so in her mind, she was like, I'm doing it. Yeah. Does anyone else in the world know that Simone is going to be doing this? She did it in the World 2023. I think that was the big surprise for her, because it was her first time a woman has ever done this. And her first big competition back. She had done nationals that summer, but she had not done any international competitions. So she comes back in 23 and does the Yurchenko Double Pike. What do you feel like was the build up to her being able to execute this? So first it started as a drill. She was trying to get her 2.5 Amanar a little bit higher, a little bit better. And so at WC, we have a huge foam pit. And it's one of the best gym in the entire world that I've seen. Like, there's congratulations. So many. It was like so amazing. Yeah. And so she was doing some timers, and then Laurent. What's a timer? It's just some layouts, some easy stuff she was doing. And then Laurent was like, she needs to kind of get that rotation a little bit more. And he was Laurent is your husband? Yes, Laurent's my husband. And so he was like, okay, let's try double flip. And she's always like, in the pit, she'll try anything. Yeah. So they started doing it like this, and when she started doing it for fun, we were looking at it, we're like, "Oh my gosh, she actually could do it." And she was like, "Yeah, right. Like, I can't." And we showed videos, and when she saw the video, she's like, "Oh, actually, like, yeah, you're right. It looks good. I can feel it." And we started putting a mat, and she started landing it. And then little by little, you know, she just moved it to higher mats, to higher surface. And it was just the time to build her confidence. And she always knew that Lorna will never ask her to do anything she was not capable of doing.
Getting that trust.
Yes.
I mean, just in a sport like this.
That vault was ready for Tokyo, but we were going to maybe try it and either all around or another vault final. Just we would not mess with the team score because we didn't know, you know, she had never done it really. So
gymnastics is divided. You've got the individual results and you've got team results. So you
team
basically
is first. And so we were committing team, and that from the team you qualified to individual stuff.
Okay.
So we did the team with her easier vault, and she did the Yurchenko Double Pike and training in Tokyo, and it was really good.
But she had never done it in a competition before Tokyo individual.
No. Then she had the Twisties, so we had to withdraw from the competition. But her reason also to return to the sport was, I don't want anyone else to do this vault instead of me first. And we're like, fair enough.
So that's her comeback in 2024. Wow.
So hard to get that vault.
So 4 years, no one tried it.
No. And I don't think I'll see many people try it, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah. The guys do it. The guys have 4 inches. Like the vault has a height. It's 125 centimeters, and the guys have 135. So they have 4 inches higher.
Okay.
So 4 inches is
a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And so for her to be able to do it in a lower setting vault, and she's petite. So, but the way she does it is most of the time way better than the guys too.
2020, and that was a tough.
Yes.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a clip from the 2020 Olympics. Simone is going to stumble here after her vault.
Yes.
And so maybe just explain to us
what's you can already see her face.
Yeah, seriously. No,
We knew, so she warmed up. I didn't see the warm up because you can only have 2 coaches on the floor. And so there was another coach, and then I switched with with her. And then when I walked in, Laurent was like, "Did you see what she did?" I said, "No, I couldn't see the warm up because it was blocked."
Yeah.
And it's like, she did a 1.5 instead of a 2.5. And I'm like, what? And so I went to see her, and she's like, "No, I'm fine. I just got lost, but I'm fine." And I looked at her, and I looked at Lauren. I was like, "She's fine." I said, "No, but I don't really know what to say." She keeps telling me she can do it. She can do it. And so when she saluted, Laura and I are like against that wall, the blue wall, and we're looking because we know she's not there.
Yeah.
But we don't know what she's going to do. And all we're kind of praying is, do not get injured, you know, like, and she was like, I can do it. And so she started running. We knew it was not going to be the right vault. We just didn't know what vault she was going to do.
Is this team or individual?
Yeah, team.
This is team. So this is actually
final.
the big team final.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they have individual after that.
Yes.
Okay. So there's still a lot of game left.
Yes.
Okay.
But you can see it. She keeps saying herself normal.
Oh, gosh.
But
sometimes you can.
But I never seen that
face.
Worried face like this. I was like,
gosh.
Yeah. And we're just on the side and just.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Yeah. That's when she's like, I can't do it. But like, when she saluted, we knew she was not right.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's just like, you must as a coach, I just feel like so helpless, you know?
You are, because you're like, do I just tell her to step down because you're worried she's going to get hurt? But then the team is going to miss a score. So the other athletes are definitely not going to medal, and they deserve a medal. And so that's why she was like, I had to vault because we couldn't change my spot. So I had to vault, and I had to make it as safe as I possibly could.
Yeah.
But yeah, she wasn't sure also what she was going to be doing. And that's why after that, she was like, take me out because I don't know what I'm going to be doing. And those girls deserve to medal. They deserve to fight for it. And with me, it's not going to happen.
For listeners who might not know, you know, what exactly are the Twisties? I think everyone was aware Simone had just mental health issues. Obviously, she's been very public about it, which has been so wonderful for so many people in terms of like, wow, someone like Simone, someone we all admire so much, like realize that, okay, we're all human at the end of the day, and what are the Twisties and how did you help her navigate, that transition in Tokyo and then, deciding to basically withdraw from the Olympics and then that moment like, all right, I'm coming back. Just maybe take us through that.
So the Twisties, it's like when I guess your mind and your body are completely disconnected. You can't control your body anymore. So you go for a full, which is a 360, and your body will do either half or a double. And so,
so you go for a full flip, for example.
And you can't control what your body is doing anymore. There's a complete disconnect between your mind and your body. So it's extremely dangerous because, it's not like some people were mad in Tokyo. I remember I was like, she's not playing tennis. Where
she's not throwing a baseball and it has the yips,
it's not that. Like she's flipping in the air, and if something goes off, she can land on her neck, die, paralyzed. Like so many serious things can happen. So when she looked at me in Tokyo after that vault where she got lost, she was like, I don't know where I'm at. I can't. And her eyes, like she looked so different. She looked at me. She's like, I can't do it. I need to be done. And it wasn't even a second. All I said was, are you sure? Like, this is what you want? She's like, yes. And so that was it. Like I could see in her eyes that you could see fear. Yeah. I could see fear in her eyes, which I had never seen before. And so it was trying to figure out how do we move from there? Because the team was still competing, and Jordan looked at me and I said, Jordan, you got to put your grips on.
Jordan Chiles, yep.
She wasn't going to do bars that competition. It's only 3 girls competing on every event, and there were 4 of them. So Simone was supposed to do bars and beam, and Jordan was supposed to do the floor. So no bars and beam for her. But when Simone is out, someone's got to replace her. And so it's Jordan. And I looked at her and I said, put your grips on. She's like, oh, okay. So she put the grips on. In the meantime, we're taking Simone with the doctor out. I knew an injury protocol, but I didn't know a mental health injury protocol. Yeah. It was new for everybody, and nobody kind of knew what to do. And you have the FIG, which is the International Federation doctor, that has to say, okay, she's inapt to do this, or she can, or whatever. So it was just like, how does that work?
Yeah.
It's mental. You can't see it, really.
Is this like, was there any precedent for this in the Olympic Games? So this is really the first time.
She was the first one. And so we went in the back. They talked to her. They had some questions. The USAG doctor was with her. And then they told me, okay, she's done for today. And my question was, is she done for the rest of the game? Or can she, day by day, be reevaluated? And if she wants and if she feels like she's back in control, she can. I just wanted her to have that opportunity if she wanted it. I didn't know if it was going to happen. I didn't want to rush her, but I also didn't want to shut down completely the rest of the Olympic Games. And they said, yes, we can meet her every day, and then we can evaluate her and see if she's fit to compete or not, talking to her. So that's how we took it. We took it day by day, but we knew she needed time. And the problem is you don't have time. You're on a timeline. So
the Olympics are 13 days, like for whatever.
So you have to follow the schedule. And we just knew if she could just get out and be back maybe with her family for a week, she would come back and it would be fine. We didn't have that time. We didn't have that luxury. It was COVID. We were stuck in Japan. Nobody was here.
That's right.
She was secluded in her little hotel room. Everybody had their own hotel room because nobody could get sick. It was just, the whole environment made it like extreme. So we went back to a training gym where we trained right before the games, about 45 minutes from Tokyo, where they had a foam pit and stuff like that. So we just trained a little bit over there to see. And she really wanted to do bars because that's her event. She was not as good as the others. And she had made finals for the first time. And she really wanted to compete. And her bar routine looked so good, but the dismount was a double twisting, double back. And she got lost. She kept getting lost. So we were trying the pitch. She would do one good, and then one she would do 1.5 to her back, or she would land. And so she couldn't figure it out, and we couldn't do another dismount. So
do we know the root, like what the mechanism is? Is it physiological? Is it nervous system?
It's mental.
It's mental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really mental, and so you have to go through the process, and that's it takes a lot of time, and so she had to withdraw from the bar final. Beam, we were like, maybe we don't do any twisting. Her dismount was a double back full twist, and we're like, well, let's try just a double back. She had not done it since she was like 12 or 13 years old. So we were just trying in a pit, and she's so powerful. She was doing like a 2.5 to a back. I was like, ooh. She's like, no, but I can't do it. I can do it. I wanted to beam. Like the game. And so we went back and trained, and she would land a lot to her feet to a butt, to her feet to a butt. Like she was over rotating the whole time. But she really wanted to do it. And so we're like, it was safe. And she's like, I want to compete. So competed beam. And she had landed maybe once or twice during the practices the whole time we were there. And then when she raised her hand, she hit the whole beam routine really good. And the dismount, I was like, easy, please. And then she just does big steps. She hits it. And that was like, oh my gosh, she just hit a beam routine. I wanted her to finish on a good note with everything she had gone through. And then I don't know what happened. All the girls after her started making mistakes and falling and all that. And I looked at her and I'm like, oh my God, you're going to get a bronze. She's like, what? And I'm like, look at you getting a bronze medal.
That's amazing.
And so it was like good for her to have this and just to be able to shift her mind a little bit. But then she took some time, and we had to find the right person. She had to find the right person for her mental health. And that's what took a long time for her to come back. She had to find the person she trusted. She had been burned before by a therapist that had shared a few things. And so, it's really hard once that happened. So she had to find somebody that she trusted, and she found her. And she was a game changer for gymnastics, of course, but for her life as well.
Just in the media, as an outside observer, there was so much, talk around Simone's comeback and what that was going to look like. And maybe just kind of talk us through, from your perspective on the inside, like what that looked like from like 2023 leading into 2024.
So her comeback has started in 2023. And I remember first World Championships was in October. And the first event, I was with Dr. Marcy, who was in Tokyo with me, helping her through that process when she got the Twisties. And after she had done her first event, we just like tears in our eyes, like, oh, she did it. Like she's back. But when she got to Paris, being in a normal Olympic environment was really helpful, seeing all the other athletes, being in the village and going to the cafeteria, being recognized. And, sometimes it was overwhelming for her. And so we never really left her alone, or we would get food. But like, it was nice to have that sense of normalcy in a way for her. And then when she started competing, I don't know, it just felt like another competition in a way. And after qualification, she had done everything that she could. She looked good. She qualified for what she wanted, except bars, but she qualified for the rest. And so it was like, we're back. Like, she's back. She can do now. The first day is the scariest one because that's where you qualify for everything. So there's most pressure. And she did that. And after that, I was like, whatever happened is icing on the cake. She's just back. She looks good. She's happy. Everybody's happy to see her. In 2020, I remember when she had that episode, and we went to visit the Olympic Village for one day to go shopping. And she was like, still just, I don't know if I want to go. Like, people are going to judge me and all that. She felt like being judged. She had read so much stuff on the internet. Yeah. Like, she was a loser, a quitter, a disgrace to America. Like, it was so much hate speech online for her. We went to the village, and we started walking the village, and athletes recognized her. And a couple started coming one after one, telling her, thank you. And she was like, what? Thank you for opening that door. And like, I'm struggling too. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for speaking up for mental health. We were in the line at the shopping. I was with her, and we just like started both crying, like, oh my God, like, this is surreal. Like, I knew the respect she had of athletes, but to hear them come to her, be like, thank you.
Yeah.
She she felt so much better. And then coming back in 24 to show everyone, like, look, I'm back and can still win gold medals and be happy. And yeah, I went through a lot of things, and I'm still going through a lot of things, but, therapies really what saved my life inside and outside the gym. So I knew from moving forward, she would be happy with whatever she decides to do after 24. She would just move on in life. If she wants to have kids or move on from the sport, whatever, she would feel fulfilled and happy. And that's all really I wanted for her. I didn't want her to have any regrets on I should have tried, or maybe I didn't end up the way I wanted. I think she ended up the story the way she wanted to.
Opening up and, confronting, her fear in such a public forum, like, I mean, I can't even imagine like the courage that would take, and I'm so happy that that people recognize that and have, that she feels that love and that solidarity, with her fellow athletes.
That was that Olympic Village moment in 2020 was good. Like she needed to feel that, and she realized it, and then little by little she became the spokesperson mental health, and she was like, well, I never really meant to do that, but I'm going to take it and own it, because if you can help even one person, that's amazing. And she's helped a lot more than one person, we know that. Yeah. But to see also the athlete at the gym, like, you know what, I started therapy and I'm doing better, I'm feeling better. And even my daughter, who I had told her, hey, you have some fear, you have some stuff, like you need to talk to somebody, like I can help, but I'm not a therapist, and even if I was, I shouldn't be. I'm your mother. So like and having Simone doing it, making not such a taboo, and also like, oh, something is wrong with you. No, that made it like more acceptable for everyone. And now I see it in college too. A lot of them, and I think all of them should be seeing somebody.
Yeah, just mental skills.
It's like just so much going on in life, and the pressure of being a college athlete and at a SEC school is extreme. So you need help, and it's okay. So use the tools that we can give to you. So I know she helped my daughter. She's helping a lot of people still now, because it became another tool for her to become the best she could be.
I love that. Olympics are coming up, LA. Is Simone gonna compete?
I don't know.
I know. I couldn't find anything online. I was like,
no, right now she is doing it like stuff with her sponsors and speaking engagement and all that, and then being the best NFL wife she can be, supporting Jonathan.
What team does he play?
Chicago Bears.
Oh, they're doing well.
Yeah, so she's going to all the games. Yeah.
You know that moment when you're in a hot tub, fully relaxed, then you know what's coming next. The cold plunge. Your body braces for it. That's contrast. And that's the whole point. That's where the Vigor Cold Plunge from our sponsor, Hot Springs Spas, come in. I use it alongside a hot tub to get the full benefits of contrast therapy, also known as hot and cold therapy. It's one of the most effective ways to boost circulation, reduce soreness, and support your nervous system. Heat opens up your blood vessels. Cold tightens them. Alternating between the two creates a rhythm of stress and release that trains both your body and your mind to recover faster and respond better. The Vigor is their cold plunge model. It cools all the way down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius. Just 3 minutes can elevate your energy, sharpen your focus, and help your muscles bounce back. If you're ready to make contrast therapy part of your routine, head to hotspring.com/Kristen to learn more. I want to talk a little bit about coaching. A lot of the gymnasts that you work with have really praised the way that you approach coaching. You're kind. And how do you, is that just who you are? Or is that kind of in response to the way you were coached and you just feeling like, all right, there might be a better, different way?
I think it's a little bit of both. I always remember, I want to treat people the way I would like to be treated. Like we said, simple thing, but I wish it was more common.
I've had some times too.
And then I just remember the way I was coached, and I have no regrets on what they did, or I'm not mad because I don't think we knew much better then. Now I would be mad if somebody would coach this way because we have all learned that there's a better way to do it. So I just remember as an athlete, okay, how do I want to be treated? And what was I missing when I was young? And I was missing a voice. We didn't have one. We didn't know we could have one. And so I want them to know that. And I think this is why I coach the way I coach. I do believe, like, like I said, like when you're raising your daughter or your son, like if they feel more in control, their life is so chaotic already. Yeah. So if they don't feel in control, nothing goes well. Yeah. If they can feel in control of their life a little bit more, I can say what I want. I can say how I feel without fear of repercussion, then I'm going to be okay. Yeah. And they perform better and they do better. And so I think this is why I coach the way I coach.
Yeah. I think it's like a real paradox, but when you peel back and you look at, just the psychology of coaching and just the core psychological needs that we have as human beings, feeling in control and having a sense of autonomy is one of the top 4 needs that we have as human beings. And I know I thought about this a lot when I was coaching too. I try to think, how can I like help my athletes feel like they're in control of the schedule, their time off, their days when they need to recover. Like you just I was always trying to, knowing that, control and autonomy is like such a core feature of the human experience. How do I build that into my infrastructure? And I hope coaches listening, think about that, because I think we often feel like if we relinquish control, they're going to make bad decisions, right? But that's like, you got to build that trust, and
you got to give them all the tools. Like we have a nutritionist, we have, a sports psychologist, we have our academic counselor, we have athletic trainer, and they all kind of talk to the team and tell them, okay, this is what happened when you drink, when you party, this is what happens to your body, and this is the effect's going to be on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for the week. And so giving them all the tools, because if I tell them, okay, don't party this weekend, they're going to be like, oh, whatever, I'm going to go. But if you truly show them, listen, you have a couple of years in this sport, and this is what happens to your body, and the risks are here and there. This is why we recommend that, be careful what you do. I'm not telling you never to party. Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. You have to. You're young. Go have fun. Yeah. But there is a time in your life where you have to really focus on your gymnastics career and then a little bit after. And I know I tell them all the time, it seems like it's too much what we ask, but and in your lifetime, it's really not that much. Yeah. So by experience, I can tell you that it will get easier and better. But you have to, I think if you give them the tools, they are more inclined to make better choices. And sometimes they don't and they learn, and we tell them all the time, there's no failure. You never fail if you learn from it. If you learn one little lesson, if you learn something from it, you are never failing. So that's what we try to remind them.
So what do you see, like when you're coaching, like literally the very best gymnasts in the world, what is like the biggest challenge that you face? Like you got to go home and you're like, and you and your husband are like, "Ooh, this is hard."
I think it's the eyes of the other people. Like when we started coaching Simone, maybe more me than my husband because he's not so much on social media. A little bit more now, but not before. It was more, I felt like a lot of people wanted us to not succeed with Simone. I don't know why. I just felt like they were waiting for us to maybe fail, to not be able to her repeat her success or be better or something. And so I had that fear that we were not good enough. I had a little bit of imposter syndrome in a way, like even when you say you're world-renowned coach, it's just so funny to me. Like I'm just me from my little town in France and, whatever. And so it's just like, sometimes everybody's like, oh my God, your career. And when I look, I'm like, you're right. But that's not, I don't look at it every day. It's just every day I go to the gym, I work with my team, and that's it, But when people remind me, hey, look where you started and where you accomplished, it's pretty incredible. So it's like, you're right. And I think for Simone and others, it was more like, are we really good enough to make her even better, to help her be the best she can be, to help her push boundaries. And I think it was the noise around me that was worrying me. And once I was able to turn it off and really listen to her and to our athletes and know that they trusted us and the parents and everybody, then I didn't really care what people were saying. But I think it was trying to block the noise a little bit at first.
What techniques did you use to block the noise? Because that's it's kind of easier said than done,
Yeah. I think, don't go on X, Twitter, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't go so much on those things. But more importantly, it was like kind of focus on the people that really know who you are, not the other people. We have a lot of coach couches, I call them. They're on the couch and they just critiques and say, oh, she should be doing this, she should be doing that. What about this routine? Really? You don't think we've thought
They
about...
have no context.
And yeah, she could do everything on paper, technically, but she has some fear. We're also going to be smart with the body and make sure she can sustain the years and the training and all that. So it's all that we have to think about. It's so easy to criticize. That's why I don't go on social media, and I don't know how people go on the page and be like, oh, you're such blah, 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 so negative. And I'm like, how do you do this? Like,
I know.
And who are you?
I know.
And most of the time, they are on the couch and doing nothing. And what have you accomplished? So I had to remind myself, okay, who are those people?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Those
are pathetic lives and humans.
Yes.
Frankly.
Your athletes, are happy and thriving. Your boss is happy with you. You feel pretty confident. Your family is proud. What else do you need?
Totally.
That's it.
I think that's just a good message, for a good reminder for all of us, to just stay focused on the people that matter to you, that know you, that understand the context. And
yes, but you do remember those negative comments more than the positive one.
That's just human nature. I know. And we know that.
Yeah.
We know this from the data. Yeah.
If you can avoid reading them, then they're not here, We just had our first preview with the UJ team, and they did a great job. And one of the assistant coach was like, did you read? I said, no, I'm really happy with what the team did. I could care less what they have to say because I know where we are. I know what we're doing. And yeah, they're going to talk anyway. And some people are going to be so impressed. Some people are going to be very negative.
So this is the preseason Georgia kind of like...
Yeah, we did that on Saturday. So we did our GymDog debut. That's what's called. And,
GymDog. I love that.
GymDog debut. And so...
D-A-W-G?
D-O-G.
Oh, they did D-O-G.
The
okay.
dog, A-W-G, is by itself. If it's attached to, you can't have it. So I know what they did. I know why we did what we did. And I don't need anybody else to tell me we did wrong or we did right. I do know where we're at. The team was happy. The girls are healthy. I don't need to read too much on social media.
And you've been at Georgia now for how many years?
It's my second season.
Your second season. Okay. And you guys went to NCAAs for the first time in a really long time, right?
We had two athletes competing. The team didn't make it, but we're hopeful we can do it this year. We have a really strong team, so yeah, it was.
Did you have some transfers?
We not really transfer. We had girls. They had not started yet.
Okay, so you have some freshmen coming in that are going to contribute to the team?
Yes, we have five very good freshmen. So
awesome.
It's been really fun.
I love it. I love it. How long is the season? When does it end?
January through April.
Okay, so around now to April.
Mid-April. It's every weekend.
That's a long season. That's a long season. Holy cow.
Yeah, we have, I think, 12 preseason meet, and then postseason depends on how many you qualify. So it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. When you think about the season that's upon you.
I'm excited.
Yeah, what are you most excited about?
I'm excited. The team that we have this year, like year one, we had a great team. But it was new to me. I came from Paris straight to Georgia. And, it was like more trying to figure out how NCAA kind of worked.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the summer to adjust and kind of figure out the girls. I didn't know them. They didn't know me. I was known in some way a little bit intimidated of who had coached. Like, oh my gosh, she coached her, now she's going to coach us. Ooh. But it doesn't matter. Like, I coach everyone. yeah, as long as you work your hardest and you give you all, like it doesn't matter what skill you do. Like I want to help you become the best athlete you can become. Doesn't mean that you all have to match Simone. Nobody can. It's just the way it is.
That's not the bar.
No, your own bar. Like try to raise it every day, every year, and that's where we are. But this year, the freshmen came in really strong, and so the sophomore, junior, senior were like, "Whoa,
okay,
they're good." I said, "Yeah, the recruiting was really good last year, so we brought up 5 very strong freshmen that pushed the upperclassmen."
Were you part of that recruiting process?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then 26 we have. Also, really good class coming. So we know next year we're going to be even better. But already I can see a shift in their confidence, in their mood, the way they competed just between us on Saturday was like fun. We had a lot of athletes on every event, which we didn't have last year. There was a lot of injury from previous years. There were girls that were also mentally just done. There were so many coaches changes, many. Yeah, it was just a lot going on. So I can see a big shift this year. So I'm excited to start competing in no less than a month now, and just take it meet by meet and see where we end up. But yeah, we'd love to be in Fort Worth with the whole team for sure in April.
I'm excited to follow the progress.
Yeah.
How many uniforms do you have?
So every week we wear a different one. So we have a lot. And we just got 2 new leotards for the postseason. So yeah, with the closet at UGA, it's huge. It's a dream closet, actually. With like so many Leos.
You use that in the recruiting, I'm sure.
Yes,
right?
yeah. We show them, of course.
Of course.
Look what we have. Everybody. So yeah.
It's an arms race.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you able to simultaneously coach US while coaching in college?
If I had on my team some athletes that want to continue elite and do for the US, you can, yeah. And so I have currently nobody on the national team, but I do on my college team. But I do have a few girls that want to continue elite next summer. So we'll start training when season is over, shift toward the elite.
Okay,
a little bit more.
And do they have to finish their eligibility?
No.
Okay, so you're actually able to coach them in off season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, that's a little loophole.
Yeah, yeah. You have more and more athletes that want to do both. It used to be once you went into NCAA, there's no more USA team. You're too old. You're not good enough. Your gymnastics is watered down or all this. But they've started, I think, with Jordan, Jade, and Suni Salih, and Jade Carey, and Jordan Chiles that kind of transferred. Actually, the very first 2 were Kyla and Maddie Koshin in 2016. When they finished Rio, they went straight to NCAA. So they were the first
right. Where
2
did they compete?
At UCLA.
Nice.
So they were the first 2 Olympic champion ever to compete in NCAA. Kind of show you transition is possible. And then you had Jade, Suni, and Jordan that actually started competing in NCAA, went back to elite that same year, went back to NCAA. So kind of doing a 4-year of I can do both.
Yeah. And elite is your US pipeline.
Yes. And so, and all 3 of them made the Paris Olympics while still being,
competitive collegiate athletes.
Yeah. So it's showing everyone that it's shifting that direction. It used to not be possible in a way because I think it was mentalities were different. But we've seen the shift, and it's so fun. You have Leanne Wong, you have Sky Blakely. I mean, you have a lot of athletes that continue the NCAA career, and it shows everyone that you don't have to be done once you're 18.
What do you attribute the shift? Is this just in the US, or is this kind of a global gymnastics phenomenon, and that your careers aren't ending when you're 18? I mean, you were like, I have to be done. Like you had no choice. But now, I mean, Simone is 28 years old. Yeah. Some of the best gymnasts are in their mid-20s. So is that consistent across the national
globe.
System? Yeah, globe.
I think, yes. Eastern Europe, you used to have a lot in Eastern Europe that were older because they were able to make some money while competing. So they were able to afford a living. It was like a job for them.
Okay.
France wasn't too much like this. Like Western Europe, not that much. Now it's starting to become possible. The federation is supporting their athletes financially. So they're able to train.
So the USOC is giving a stipend now to gymnasts so they can.
Yes. So if you're on national team, you get a stipend every month.
Yep.
Depending on how high you're ranked.
Yep.
So if you're an Olympic medalist, world medalist, you get an amount. It's honestly not that much, but it helps cover your training expenses because it's pretty expensive to do gymnastics. But the beauty is when you're in college, usually on a full ride scholarship, so they don't have that expense, so they can really take their time. And I think they've realized like it's actually better for me to continue while I'm in college because I have all the treatment possible you can ever imagine in college.
Everything that you need,
and more. And you have a great training facility, and you have more and more coaches that actually are really good coaches in college, and so they're able to continue and make you better as an elite. And you just had to have a couple girls to show what's possible. So it's fun. Jordan, she was at UCLA. And she trained with us, and we communicated with the USA head coach, Janelle, to make sure we were staying on track on what she was doing and how we're going to get her ready for her elite career while she was also going to participate in the NCAA season to make sure she would help her team try to win the national championship. So it's just all about the communication.
I find that the support around the athlete has kind of never been better, to create conditions that allow them to really compete at their highest level. It's really special to see. And I love how the collegiate environment has evolved in that way.
And I mean, the colleges are also, in a way, selfish to the point where it looks good on them.
Totally. Yeah. There's such an advantage. Yeah.
I mean, it's such a great promotion to have somebody from maybe UGA going to Olympic Games. We had some track athletes who went. One, I think, won a gold. And so it's such a huge promotion for the university to be, global. So I think that's only an advantage to support that too.
Exactly.
And USAG, for example, has no other choice to support it as well, because without those collegiate gymnasts in Paris, half the team would have been non-existent.
You mentioned Jordan Chiles a few times. What was the drama in 2024?
So we were on the floor finals.
Okay.
And she competed last. So you have 8 girls going. And so when somebody competes, they do their floor routine, the score comes, and you can inquire for the score saying, I disagree with the star value or an out of bounds situation, and you need to go to the desk and tell them, I want to inquire for this or that. And you have at least when the score shows until the girl is done the next one. So it's at least 1.5 to 2 minutes before it's too late for you to do so. When you're the last one, they give you 1 minute to do it, because it's the last competitor. They're like, you need to be done fast.
Wow.
So when the score came out, I looked at it, and her star value was 1/10 lower than I knew she could get. The risk that you take when you inquire is like, you're going to go to the judges, say, disagree, and they're going to look at it. It could go up, it could stay the same, or it could go down.
Wow.
And I looked at...
Because they're actually getting another look at it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Through video. So you can see stuff differently.
Wow.
So I looked at Jordan, and she's like, do it. I have nothing to lose. I'm 5th right now. So if I was going to go lower, she was going to be maybe 6 or 7. And she was like, it doesn't matter. But if we go up, she would get to the 3rd place. And so I ran to the desk, and it's so loud because everybody thinks it's over. Like, everybody's like celebrating all that stuff. And I'm screaming, Jordan Chiles, inquiry for Jordan Chiles. And the ladies like barely can hear me because she's a little further away. And so she's doing it on the computer, all that stuff. I have no much hope it's going to go up because rarely it's changed. But, we tried. And so I'm filling my bag, and I watched the replay after because I was just putting my stuff in my backpack, but Jordan was glued to the screen, and she's just like hitting my shoulder because she's like, oh my God. And I looked at my face, I'm like, what? Like it changed, it went up, and she's 3rd. And
so she went from 5th to 3rd.
And so she's screaming, crying, falling on the ground. And she has wanted the Olympic gold, the Olympic medal for herself because she had a team gold, she had a team silver, but she's never had that individual medal. So she gets that medal. Simone is 2nd. And so it's like, oh my God, our 2 athletes on the podium. Like how amazing it is to finish. This is the last event of the Gymnastics Olympic Games. So it was like such a great way to finish it. So we're like super happy. The next day, we heard that Romania, who was third and had dropped to fourth, was filing an inquiry because they said I was too late to do it. I wasn't within the minute. I didn't time, so I really don't know, but I know I went as fast as I could.
Yeah.
Second, why would they agree to change it if I was over time?
Exactly.
Like they should have
Not
never.
to mention, the results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
So
it was just like, okay, they changed the score. They agreed to it. If I was late, they should have said too late that time, and I would be okay. That's fair. Whatever. So we had I had to testify. I was saying what I did, and so all that stuff. And then they called us and said that she was going to be stripped of her medal because Romania had filed the complaint, and they said that I was too late. And I said, how do you know I was too late? They're like, you did it in too long. And I was like, have no proof.
But you still scored better.
But I had no proof that I had done it within the minute. And then I'm driving, we were in France because we stayed after to go see the family, and I'm driving to my dad. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, Simone was filming her Netflix docuseries. And I had a mic, and we had people filming us. So I right away called them, be like, hey, you had that whole sequence with the time, everything. Yeah. You have everything, because I was being recorded. And she's like, yes, let me find it. So find it, and I do it in 47 seconds. I'm like, I'm within the minute. But then we appealed, and it's still in the appeal process with the Switzerland court. So we still haven't heard back, but we're still working on it. We don't want the Romanian athletes to lose her medal.
Yeah.
But Jordan has kept hers, but she wants the result to be official again, that she's third.
Of course.
So that's what we're waiting for. But that was the whole drama, was she was stripped of her medal because I was too late. And
that is an intense pitching moment.
It was just like, I hope I wasn't, but at the same time, you all agreed to change the score to give her the highest. And
exactly.
That's not even my fault anymore.
Exactly.
You all make you take ownership of it and be like, we screwed up. You know what? Let's give 2 medals and be done with it. But the IOC is like, no, we can't show this precedent. We have to be 1 medal. So it's still in court process, and we should
still in court today.
Mm-hmm, yes. So we're hoping to hear early 2026. But yeah, it's been pushing. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was the whole story.
A quick message from our sponsor, Whoop. Most of us want to live a long life, but what matters more is living that life well, with energy, clarity, and strength. The feature HealthSpan on Whoop gives you a read of how your body's actually aging based on how you're living, not just your chronological age. By tracking 9 key metrics like sleep consistency, strength training minutes, time and heart rate zones, and VO2 max, it calculates your Whoop age. Then each week it shows you how your behaviors are influencing your pace of aging. So you get clear feedback on how to slow it down. Over 85% of people over 65 are managing at least one chronic condition, but your daily behaviors can shift that trajectory. We built HealthSpan alongside the Buck Institute, a global leader in aging science. So if you're interested and want to try HealthSpan for yourself, head over to join.whoop.com/science to get 1 month free. That's join.whoop.com/science. So I want to talk about your daughter for a second.
Yes.
Because it's just an amazing story. You competed in the Atlanta Olympics when you were 17, and your daughter competed in Paris as an Olympic diver, also at the age of 17.
Yes.
Yep. So phenomenal. What is it like, because you see everything, right? How do you think about that as a mom?
As a mom, I was beyond proud. It was so unexpected. She started diving really late in her career. After COVID, she didn't know what to do.
So was she a gymnast?
She was a gymnast until 2020. And then COVID happened. She was like, I don't miss it. I don't want to do it. She felt like she had to because we're coaches, and we're like, you don't have to do anything. Whatever you want to do.
The parenting test number 1.
And so she was relieved. She was like, oh, okay. And then she tried tennis, and then a couple girls went from gymnastics to diving due to injuries, and they were thriving. And there was a really good club, which at the time I didn't even know it was a really good club. It was top 2 in the country. So we go there, end up being Kenny Armstrong, who coached the 2000 Olympic champion. So it was like, oh, okay. Like,
So she became Olympic level in 4 years.
In like 3, because she really started diving in early 2021. And they were like, oh, she's good. And so then it was, she was just diving for fun. And during it had been 6 months when we were in Tokyo, I met a friend of mine that she did artistic swimming. And she was doing the commentating for diving, swimming, and all that. And she came to Western Gymnastics in Tokyo, and we started chatting. And she's like, hey, I see your daughter's doing diving. I said, yeah, she's just, 6 months ago, just started. And she was like, oh, she's good, like France doesn't have many divers. Like, she has a dual citizenship, right? I said, yes, she does. She was like, well, maybe get in contact with the French national team. And, I said, okay, we started 6 months ago. We're not there, let's read, let's see if she actually likes it, you know. She was like, yeah, but just, keep in mind. And so end of 21, early 22, I contacted the French Federation of Gymnastics and I said, hey, do you have a contact for the diving coach? And so they put me in contact with them and started chatting. And because we had asked Juliette, do you think, what would you like to do? She's like, actually, compete from France will be so fun because my parents compete for France. So how fun would that be if I can do it, you know? And then in 24, she's training synchro and was one of the girls in France.
Okay.
Who was
with synchronized diving, like you're going at the same time, like that.
So France, as being the host, had spots on all the synchronized competition. They didn't need
for listeners,
to qualify.
They might not know this. So when you're the host country,
you get some spots.
You get automatic kind of qualification. In some sports, like our men's field hockey team, for example, would never qualify for an Olympic Games outside the U.S., but because we're hosting LA, they'll automatically get a spot to compete. Yeah.
So in diving, you don't get individual spot, but you get synchronized spot. So they had the 3-meter synchro, 10-meter women and men. And so they were like, yeah, we have a spot for 3-meter synchro, but we have another pair right now. And then one of the athletes from that pair had some mental block on the 3-meter. They put Juliette in April that year. They sent her to American Cup because it's easy. She's in Houston, fly to American Cup, easy for her. So she goes to American Cup and they do well. They look good together. So they're like, oh, we'll try European Championships in May or June, I can't remember. And so I'm like, okay. So she goes to, I think it was May, and she went in May, and the medal, they go bronze at European Championships. I'm like, oh, wow. And then we get a call, and the head coach calls me, and she's like, hey, I'm going to call Juliette tomorrow to let her know that we have selected her for the Paris Olympic Games. And I'm like, what? Like, what did you just say? She's like, yeah, so we'll need her in France in about 10 days. I'm like, okay. And so we at the gym, she's with us watching, and I had told the team what was going on, and then she gets a call, and I'm recording the call. And so Julia's like on FaceTime, and she's like, yeah, I want to tell you go to Paris. She's like, what? And like Simone was so happy, and she had made her beautiful gold diamond Olympic ring necklace. She gave it to her. Like, it was just so sweet. It was like, I can't believe like Juliette. And then Simone's family was like, everybody was so happy that I known Juliette. She was like 10 years old, and here she is competing in Paris. Simone is going to be there. Jordan is going to be there. We are going to be there. It was just like such a surreal moment. And I called my family, and they're like, what? How do we get tickets and all that? So everybody, whoever could come made it. So it was, I don't know, it was really fun for her, just for her also confidence. She has, she lacks of confidence, I think, because of her, who we are. And everybody like, oh my God, your parents. But for her to be able to compete there, and
that's her own.
Like, that's my sport, that's me, was really, truly, magical. I don't know. It was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, we're both here. She's there. Olympic.
You're in your home country.
Yes. Olympic Village. She's in the French building, we're American building. It's pretty close. We meet in the cafeteria. We hang out. we went to see her compete, and she came to gymnastics and went to see all the sports. So it was really fun.
How many kind of mother, father, daughter coaches?
I don't know.
Right? None from other than you. Like
I don't know.
It's going to be so rare.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun.
Gosh, that's incredible. Is Juliet going to compete in 2028?
She wants to.
She wants to. So she's on track to.
Yeah, she wants to. So she'll have to qualify through the, the normal route, because there's no spot for her for France. So she's going to have to go to World Championships in 27 and then hoping to qualify for 28. So,
wow, so exciting. So, you'll be there, our high. I mean, you have two.
I mean, if I go there just a mom, I'll be very happy to.
Yeah.
I don't need to be a coach. So I'll be more pleased to be going as a mom, for sure.
What was your husband's reaction?
He's kind of doesn't show much emotion, but I think also surreal. Like when we think about it, like you said, like mom, dad, and daughter at the same games, how often does that happen? Yeah. But we laugh all the time because he didn't compete as an
athlete in the Olympics. Yeah.
And so Juliet was like, we're Olympians,
Yeah.
And he's like, Whatever,
yeah. I mean, technically he's an Olympian too, because he's a coach.
I was just reading, I don't know, the studies are real, but they were like the athletic talent comes from the mom. I was like, that's it.
I know. I see that on Instagram all the time. I'm like, I always forward it to my kids. You can stop forwarding this to me. I know.
So, like, see.
And intelligence as well.
Yeah. There you go.
So there's lots of folks listening who are taking inspiration from your career and your coaching. And, if you were to kind of give, and I imagine you're doing this all the time with your athletes, or trying to get over a line, kind of stepping across, to a new frontier, what is that moment of advice that you give an athlete who's trying to get over a hump?
I think a lot of time we don't try things because we're afraid of not succeeding. And I think we need to forget about that. Like I said, you never truly fail if you learn something from whatever you've tried to do. So you always make a progress. Even if it's a minimal one, it's still progress. Over a hump, also, don't be afraid to go back to basics. Like in life, step backwards, take a moment, and then kind of go back step by step and take it slow if you have to. You're on your own timeline, not anyone else. So listen to yourself. Nobody knows you better than yourself. So trust also your guts sometimes to try to move forward.
I love that.
But yeah.
I think you made such a beautiful point earlier about just the noise, and the voices. And it's like you kind of got to go back to your core and your basics. And
if I had listened to a lot of people, I would not be here 100%. I would still be in France. I probably would be happy. I don't know, but I would have never had the career and met the people that I've met along the way here if I had listened to people that said, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
And I would say, you're right. Because it was scary. I didn't speak English. My husband didn't speak English when we moved. We had 2 suitcases each, and we just went. And we're like, peace out. Let's go. And when I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, but I mean, like we said, if it didn't work out, we'll go back home. And I know I could go to my parents and they would help get it back on her feet or whatever. Like we had a good support system as well. Also didn't want to rely on everybody. So like, I'm going to push myself and I'm going to make sure I'm going to show everyone that they were wrong. I worked a lot in my career like this. They said I wasn't the most talented athlete, but I worked. They said I remember one time a coach, we had teammates coming back with a French quad, like the uniform. And they walked into the building and he said, you see this? And my eyes were just like, oh my God, yeah. So I was like probably 12. So you'll never get it. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, you're not strong enough. You don't work hard enough. You're not good enough. You never get it. And I was like, okay. And in 96, like, yeah, not a lot of people would have put me in the Olympic team probably 4 years prior because I was a lot more talented athlete. But maybe I outwork everyone. And just because I wanted to show everyone, okay, you tell me no, I'm going to
prove you wrong.
Yeah. And that's how it works. And I told her to tell my daughter because she is not that way. And I'm like, that should push you to be better. If people tell you, oh, you don't deserve this. Oh, let me show you.
Yeah.
You know, you have to. You have for yourself, like also prove to yourself that you belong here. Yeah. You can do it. And, you know, don't let them be right. No. Be the one that's right.
Yeah. Oh, well, I appreciate this conversation so much.
Thank you.
That's a lot of fun and learned a lot. And I think it's going to bring a lot of value to a lot of people. So
thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the world of gymnastics, just as an outside observer, someone who loves the Olympic Games, I mean, I've always been so fascinated by gymnastics. So much admiration for the amount of training that is required to be good at that sport. It is so technical. So I think like just being able to sit down with someone who has spent literally her entire life since she's 5 years old. It's all she's done. It's all she's known. So to talk to an expert like that was really interesting. I mean, I think people will be super fascinated just to learn the inside scoop, you know, of what it takes to actually compete at that level consistently. You know, Cécile is a phenomenal coach. She's a world-renowned coach. I think she also talked about just being a parent of a high-level athlete. Also, I think, really interesting. So, you know, I think just anyone who's fascinated by what it takes, you know, to be a high performer and, you know, the challenges of navigating that type of environment, I think would find this really interesting.